Hey everyone, Bruce here again, DIY Homestead Projects. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be doing an add-on, as you can see behind me, to the shelves that I built on one of my previous videos, the DIY hanging garage shelves. And I'm going to double my storage space by adding another 16 feet. I'm not going to make it a full inclusive video of all the same things that I showed in my first video, but in this video you're going to see a few of the key points, or at least what I believe is to be important things to know if you're going to extend or add on to the shelving that you've already got existing. I'm going to show you how to connect the two shelves together, and then I'm going to also show a lot more detail in this video of how I attached it to the ceiling. So I hope you enjoy the video. Let's get right into it and start looking at some of those details. So in order for me to change out that board across the top and put a longer one in, I'm going to make a temporary stand just to hold this shelf up so I don't have to empty it. So I just took a regular 2x4 and I'm going to put a little block on the back. So that should be good enough, I think. So I'm going to get up there, put the garage door down, get up there, take screws out so I can get that board down and put up a longer board. So now that I've got this 63-inch board, I made a mark on the ceiling where the other one came out, or where it needs to be lined up. And I made a mark on the side of this one, on the new one. So all I have to do now is hold it up in there, line up those marks, and then screw it back down, and hopefully it all goes smooth. And I'll just keep this for the other side because I have to do the same thing over there. So you see the board across the ceiling there where it meets that vertical support, just comes right to the end. So after I got that placement board that's 63 inches up there, now you can see how far it sticks past that vertical support. So I now have room to put another vertical support right next to it for the second shelf. Now if you're working by yourself, this is a simple trick to give you a lot of help. I just took a little block of a 2x4 and I'm going to let it overhang this edge a little bit and just screw it up right to this frame. That way when I put my shelf up there, I can rest it on this side and screw it down on the other side, which I'll show you here in a minute. Now, since I'm tying these two shelves together, I'm going to put two screws tying these two center cross pieces together as well. I'm using these 2.5-inch screws, same ones I used to put the frame together. Now I'm going to move my block out here to help me put on this outer rail. At this point, I'm going to put my shelf 1/2-inch plywood up on top, and then I can build these 2 supports to hold it up. Once that's complete, I'll crawl up there and screw it down. And now I need to work on getting these upper supports. So I'll try to show you as much detail on that as I can. Now for the ceiling joists, mine are running in this direction across the ceiling of my garage. Maybe they're called rafters. I'm not sure what the exact terminology is. I took my stud finder, just like I did on the walls, and I'll find the stud and mark both sides of the stud, and then I'll just put my screw in the center. Now my shelves are 2 feet wide, so then I took my tape and put a line 24 inches, and I did that for 2. One here and then one back here behind me, 24 inches apart. I'm going to take a 30-inch piece of 2x4 and put 4 screws in it, 2 into this joist and 2 into the other joist. So I've got 2 joists to carry the load for the corner of this shelf on one piece of 2x4 there. So hopefully that kind of explains how I marked them with the stud finder, got the distance and spacing, and I know exactly where my ceiling joists are. Then I took my 30-inch board, held it up to my line so the edge of the board is 2 feet from the wall, 24 inches from the wall, and took my pencil and marked on the board where the center of that joist is at. And I'm going to drill some holes, put the screws in, and then I can hold this up and screw it to the ceiling. Here's a little tip for you. When I put the screws in, if I'm putting the board into drywall like I do on the ceiling and the walls in this project, I'll put the screws through the board and have them poking out just a little tiny bit on the back side so that when I put that up against the wall I can tap on it and those little screws will dig into that sheetrock and it'll hold the board in place while I get a driver on there and put a screw up into the joist. Just a trick I like to do. So here's what the overall big picture project completion looks like after I finished doubling my hanging shelf storage space. You can see I built a bench below that window and now I have a shelf above it, and I'm going to mount a 4-foot fluorescent light up above there. I'll do a video showing that when I get around to it. You see that fluorescent light fixture was in the way. That's why I had to split that board in 2 up there and mount it the way that I did. Well, that's how I doubled my storage space. I went from 16 feet to 32 feet of actual storage space in my garage for less than $150 total cost. If you got some value out of the video and enjoyed it, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel if you enjoy this type of videos. I do a lot of these home improvement DIY type project videos on this channel. That'll pretty well wrap up this one. If you have questions or comments, don't forget to put them in the comment section, and we'll see you guys on the next video.